But why was there a complaint, Coca, that we didn't give the Blue Jays enough flowers on Monday's show post-World Series? That we weren't showing the right amount of love for a season? I'll remedy it. The reason I did it is I wanted to deal with the champions on Monday. I wanted to deal with the pennant winners on Wednesday. Let's face it, winning the pennant, really cool. Losing the World Series, less than optimal. I have to be consistent with my approach. There are 29 losers in Major League Baseball. Toronto was only the latest loser. Every year. And now it's done. Where do they go from here? What do you do when you get so close, when you are building your team? When your fans can taste it, when your owner thinks to himself, we had it in our grasp. 2 inches of growth spurt away from winning a World Series. 1 foot of an extra secondary lead from winning a World Series. Here's what you do. You look at who your free agents are, and you say to yourself, is running it back with the same team going to give us the opportunity to take the next step? Let me give you some evidence. The New York Mets went to the League Championship Series. They were semifinalists. Then they went out and got Juan Soto. And then they didn't make the playoffs. The Boston Red Sox traded Rafi Devers to the San Francisco Giants in a, what people referred to, horrible trade. The San Francisco Giants sat and watched the Boston Red Sox lose in the first round to the New York Yankees. Trades that are made, decisions that are made on contracts. Let's just take Bo Bichette, the player who all Blue Jays fans want to make sure remains a Blue Jay. Let's take Sir Anthony Dominguez, the bullpen arm that was counted on by the Blue Jays. Command issues, unbelievable movement, a solid bullpen arm. And let's think about what a team should do with these players. 1, a bullpen arm, totally replaceable. 1, a well above average potential superstar in Bo Bichette. As the Toronto Blue Jays are putting their team together, they have spoken to Ed Rogers, their owner, and they have gotten a payroll for next season. The payroll for next season will certainly get a bump because of the extra incremental revenue that the Blue Jays received by making it all the way through the maximum number of home games they could have had. The Toronto Blue Jays are not guaranteed to have access to every bit of money that Rogers Communications made with postseason revenue, because any responsible owner would not allocate the full amount of revenue that was incrementally acquired. And the reason is that next season, the odds that Toronto makes it back to the World Series are incredibly small. The feeling that a fan has to have the same group of players come back and have the opportunity to take the next step is a feeling that is not shared by front offices. Front offices look at the makeup of their team and they recognize the moment. They recognize what happened during the course of the year that actually enabled them to get where they got to, and then realize even where they got to was not ring worthy. When the Blue Jays have an existing payroll of almost $200 million, and that is only before arbitration, before filling out your roster, but that is in obligations as we sit here today, including Shane Bieber's $16 million that he opted into as a player option. Side note, Coca, be very worried if you're the Blue Jays, please. The only reason Shane Bieber opted into his $16 million player option is that he could not get more than $16 million guaranteed by anyone else. Do not buy into, oh, we love Toronto. The old Max Scherzer family Instagram post. This was a life-changing experience. We are family. We couldn't be happier. This was the greatest experience we could ever have. Well, I think it was probably greater in Washington when you won a title, but I could be wrong. I'm certainly not going to walk into the shoes of a husband and wife and their children as they decide that living in Toronto is greater than living in Detroit or Texas or Washington. I am merely saying that when players come out and talk about not wanting to leave, they talk about, I would spend the rest of my career here. They talk about how great it is to be in a certain place. It is very often negotiating. It is not a coincidence that Max Scherzer is a free agent. He may want to continue playing. He may not. He's of the age where retiring above 40 would not be a surprise, obviously, to anyone. But you look at the makeup of your team and you know that you need some turnover. You know that you're fine not re-signing Dominguez. You know that you're fine not bringing back Ty France, Max Scherzer, Chris Bassett. Don't bring any of them back. The biggest decision the Blue Jays have to make on where they go from here is whether or not they overpay for Bo Bichette. I understand Bo Bichette's regular season. I understand the complementary way that he is with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in the lineup. I also understand that there are ways to allocate money in order to make your team deeper. The way the Blue Jays need to act with their top 5 payroll should be a lot more like the Dodgers. The reason why the Dodgers are here in the middle of a dynasty is depth. That depth is because of money. Rogers Communications has an opportunity to help with the Blue Jays' depth. The allocation that will be needed, the deferrals that could be used, all of the tricks that are done by the Dodgers to make sure that they've got the maximum number of players at each position so that they can engage in load management, those are the differentiating factors. If you've got a player on your horizon that takes that flexibility away, you've got to be able to say no even when you are the holders of the pennant.